So this is a test to see how loud I need to talk because my baby is sleeping behind this wall. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to share some books that I have read recently with all of you guys. So, as I have mentioned before, I love middle grade novels, and I got on a website or Googled it, or maybe I was on the library website trying to find some good recommendations for middle grade novels that I had never read before. And so I just wanted to share some of those with you guys today. If you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I would love it if you would stick around. If you like what you're seeing, please give me a thumbs up, press subscribe, and ring the bell for more notifications when I make more book review videos. So the first one I want to share with you guys today is actually a book that I don't own. Actually, I don't own any of these. I'm a big proponent of getting books from the library. If I purchased every single book that I was interested in reading, I would very quickly run out of room and money. So I'm a big advocate of getting books from the library. Of course, I plan to grow my at-home book collection, but right now I have 4 young kids. There's not a lot of places that I can put books where they're not going to get pulled down and damaged in some form or fashion. So I am saving my big grand library dreams for when my children are a little bit older. So that said, I was at our local bookstore and I saw this first book standing out on the shelf. I think it's so important to have a cover that really catches a middle grade reader's eye, or any reader's eye. Let's be honest, we all judge books by their cover. So the beautiful script on this book and the detailing and the name itself caught my attention. So I will insert a picture here. The first book is called The Star Shepherd. It's by Haring and MarcyKate Connolly. I personally love stars. It's sort of a theme for our family. We give each other star nicknames, and we're eager for each member of the family to eventually see a shooting star. And I am always drawn to stories that revolve around stars. So that said, I quickly went to that book, I pulled it off the shelf, and I proceeded to reserve it at my local library. I'm going to read you guys a quick Amazon summary of the story and kind of share my thoughts. When the world first formed, the night was black and filled with dark creatures. The elders knew their people couldn't survive under such a threat. So they made the ultimate sacrifice. They gave their hearts to the sky in the form of brightly shining stars to keep evil away. Now 11-year-old Cairo is a star shepherd like his father. He spent his life tucked away in the outskirts of the small town of Dren. There they watch the night sky for falling stars and rush to rescue them when they do. Then one night, too many stars fall at once, and terrible dark creatures start to appear in the forest by their home. Cairo's father journeys to the Star Shepherd Council to report the threat. But when he doesn't return, Cairo must figure out how to save them himself before enough stars fall for the dark creatures to make their return. Cairo, along with his trusty dog Cypher and his friend Andra, must find the cause of the threat before it's too late. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a fast-paced read. I thought it developed well. It kept moving along quickly. I wanted to know what happens next. And of course, just the unique story of these dark creatures and their reason for hunting the stars. I can't tell you every detail without giving too much away. The synopsis was intriguing enough for me, and I just remember really enjoying finding out what would happen. So I give this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. If I had any cons, it would just be that perhaps it could have been a little bit fuller with development of the characters and their relationships, but even so, I felt like they did a good job to where everything was understood and the story progressed well, and they tied it all together at the end. The artwork throughout the book is really neat. It's sort of like graphic novel a little bit. I really enjoy Haring's art. I'll insert a picture of his art so maybe you can get an understanding of what I'm talking about. All in all, I thought this was an amazing creative story. It would make a great read aloud, and I recommend this for readers of all ages. So the next book I have is one that I found on a list or found while I was searching through books at the library site online, and it is called I Can Make This Promise by Christine Day. Here's a quick summary. Edie Green is a girl who wants to know more about her Native American history, but her mom was adopted and doesn't know much about her past. Or does she? When Edith uncovers a box in their attic, she discovers who she was named after, but still doesn't understand why it is a secret. As her and her friends are planning to make a film for a film festival, Edie is trying to navigate her friendships, a new pair of braces, and her emotions without coming unraveled. So this is sort of a really cool coming of age sort of figuring out where am I from, who am I kind of a story. Is very tied to identity in your family and your bloodline and learning about your heritage. So I really enjoyed this book, and I thought that Christine Day did a great job of painting a beautiful picture in few words. I feel like a lot of Edie's emotions and things that she's struggling with are very relatable. That said, I would say that some of the cons, if you want to call them that, are kind of her attitude as she's coming to grips with her emotions and her thoughts. She can be snappy and disrespectful to the people around her who care about her. She's been dishonest, not wanting to trust her parents with the information that she has. She is unforgiving of people who have hurt her, and I understand that all of that's to be expected because she's like 12, but just something to be aware of as far as attitudes within a book and what you do or don't want your kids to read. But with that, it comes to a beautiful end where they get some answers, and it's an unexpected ending that actually made me cry. So I definitely give it points for that. I would have liked to see more information about Native American background, culture woven in. I feel like we got there toward the end because that's kind of the purpose. She was on a search for her heritage, but I felt like maybe throughout the middle there just could have been a little more oomph as far as information for the reader to learn more about the culture, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think she did a great job. I give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I am really excited about. So those first 2 books were books that I've already read. The first earlier this year, the other one I just finished like earlier this week. This next book is going to be sort of a half review because I'm only about 2/3 of the way through the book. I'm really excited to finish filming this video so that I can go finish reading this book, and it is Beyond the Bright Sea by Lauren Wolk. She is an award-winning author, and again, this title, this book cover caught my attention somewhere, and I reserved it at the library, and I do not regret it. So I'm only 2/3 of the way through this book, and I would say I give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It keeps me reading. I can't wait to find out what happens. I will say it is a bit predictable. I've been able to tell what is coming, what's going to happen so far. It hasn't stopped me from wanting to read the story. It is still very engaging. The writing is still very beautiful. The setting is the 1920s islands off the coast of New England. So to me, not being familiar with that area, it seems almost like another world. So it's very interesting to kind of have a picture into a lifestyle and a location that I've never really learned much about. So that said, I will give you guys an update to let you know if it gains another half star by the end or if it drops down a half star by the end. I can't imagine it dropping more than that. I would say it is a solid book, and I would definitely recommend it to a middle grade reader or a teenager or an adult. I'm going to read you guys the quick summary inside the dust jacket. 12-year-old Crow has lived her entire life on a tiny isolated piece of the starkly beautiful Elizabeth Islands in Massachusetts. Abandoned and set adrift in a small boat when she was just hours old, Crow's only companions are Osh, the man who rescued and raised her, and Miss Maggie, their fierce and affectionate neighbor across the sandbar. Crow has always been curious about the world around her, but it isn't until the night a mysterious fire appears across the water that the unspoken question of her own history forms in her heart. Soon, an unstoppable chain of events is triggered, leading Crow down a path of discovery and danger. Vivid and heart-wrenching, Lauren Wolk's Beyond the Bright Sea is a gorgeously crafted and tensely paced tale that explores questions of identity, belonging, and the true meaning of family. So it's ironic that I picked up both of these books at the same time because they both have very similar themes, even though they're very different stories and very different writing styles. I also thought it was funny that all three books I picked up from the library have the same color scheme. I was like, either I like these colors and I'm drawn to them, or middle grade novels have a theme going on right now. That brings me to the last book I want to touch on. It is on my to-be-read library pile, and that is Other Words for Home by Jasmine Warga. I have seen this book on multiple recommendations lists, and the sound of it intrigued me, so I am excited to read this. If you have already read it, please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I'll go ahead and read a quick synopsis inside the cover. I am learning how to be sad and happy at the same time. Jude never thought she'd be leaving her beloved older brother and father behind, all the way across the ocean in Syria. But when things in her hometown start becoming volatile, Jude and her mother are sent to live in Cincinnati with relatives. At first, everything in America seems too fast and too loud. The American movies Jude has always loved haven't quite prepared her for starting school in the US, and her new label of Middle Eastern, an identity she's never known before. But this life also brings unexpected surprises. There are new friends, a whole new family, and a school musical that Jude just might try out for. Maybe America, too, is a place where Jude can be seen as she really is. This lyrical, life-affirming story is about losing and finding home, and most important, finding yourself. So I love gaining cultural insights from books, and I haven't actually read as diversely as I would like to. So this being the story of a girl from Syria, it's very intriguing to me. I have a whole lot of books on my to-be-read list, so if you guys are interested in knowing what I plan to be reading, let me know down in the comments and give me a heads up on books that you're planning to read. Maybe we can read some of those together. I have some exciting videos planned in the future, so I hope you choose to follow along. Again, if you'd like to stay updated on new content, please hit subscribe, ring the bell. I would love to keep seeing you here and continue the discussion on books. I know a lot of people are going back to school in August, kids, college students, so I just want to wish you the best. Thank you so much for watching this far. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.